I scattered the magic powder on the 3 young dragons, and they rapidly grew massive, evolving ahead of schedule. The king sneered and kicked the giant dragon away, but what had evolved wasn't its size, it was its breath. Unfortunately, the king possessed an immortal body, and even dragon fire couldn't harm him. I was filled with regret the day before. I had personally found the divine sword that grants eternal life. A weapon even the queen couldn't resist. I used the sword's power to force the soldiers to surrender their weapons, then handed it over to the Dark Lord, hoping he'd keep his promise to send me back to the modern world. However, once the Dark Lord got the sword, he betrayed our agreement and tried to make a deal with the king for the eternal stone embedded in the sword, the true source of immortality. The king broke his word and only handed over a fake gem. Both divine artifacts fell into his hands, and we were trapped. In that critical moment, Vasilisa transformed into human form and tackled the king. I seized the opportunity to grab the magic sword. Everything hinged on this one move. When Vasilisa expected me to rescue her, I instead slashed open a rift in space and time, abandoned the sword, and fled. Back home, the guilt of abandoning my companions tormented me. After much inner struggle, I decided to return to the White Mountain Kingdom, but my strange behavior got me locked up. There, I encountered the wizard who had originally sent me to the magical world. To get the secret potion, I had to help him retrieve his confiscated staff. I convinced the guard to return the staff, and the wizard gave me a bottle of secret potion in exchange. He instructed me to first return to the White Mountain Kingdom, use the potion to awaken the dragon's magic in the dungeon, then use the staff to open a portal. But when I returned to the dungeon, I discovered the legendary dragon was only the size of a thumb. I sprinkled the potion, but got no response. Instead, I alerted the guards and was caught on the spot. Shortly after I left, the dragon began licking the dust. Meanwhile, the Dark Lord and the others were held in the palace hall, awaiting judgment. The king looked out the window. A solar eclipse was approaching. All he needed to do was set the eternal stone into the holy sword to gain eternal power. Guards brought me in, and the king, confident in his divine artifacts, merely glanced at me before turning back to wait. I drew my modern weapon to threaten him, but the queen lunged at me. A gunshot rang out, and the king fell. I tried to suppress my panic and warn the queen, but she just sneered and said the ritual was complete. The king had gained immortality, and even the breath of 3 dragons couldn't hurt him. To weaken him, I took a gamble and used reverse psychology to force the king to put down his magic sword and duel me. But I was still just a mortal. Even with the king wielding only an ordinary longsword, I was at a disadvantage. The king revealed the truth. Years ago, he and the queen conspired to ambush my father and seize control of the White Mountain Kingdom. At the critical moment, the Dark Lord snatched back the Eternal Stone. Everyone knew that if this stone was destroyed, immortality would vanish. The king pretended to offer shared power, but his real intention was to eliminate me first. The Dark Lord saw through the trap and chose mutual destruction. In the nick of time, the queen swung her axe and severed the arm holding the stone, and power shifted back to the king. I threw a spike to draw his attention, and the Dark Lord used his severed arm to fling the Eternal Stone in front of himself. With one sword strike, the Eternal Stone shattered, and the Dark Lord turned to ash. Facing certain defeat, the queen desperately leaped from the castle and fled. The petrified subjects who had been sustained by her magic gradually recovered, and peace returned to the White Mountain Kingdom. Just as I was about to introduce Vasilisa to my parents, the queen mysteriously appeared in the modern world. Clearly, a deeper conspiracy was still unfolding.